Alright, this is going to be part 3, our continuation of 1978 Halloween.
I'm L-Mid and this is JBM from Mr. Creepshow 9's Horror Channel. Alright, so we left off with freaking, they're on the phone, Annie and Lori, and freaking it cuts back to her and she freaking spills the butter while she's making popcorn, she spills the butter on her, and then freaking, so they hang up, and freaking she goes out to the outhouse garage.
This just reminds me of
like,
Friday the 13th.
She goes out there. She takes up her freaking clothes, like in the freaking kitchen, and then freaking takes them out there to the freaking house to like get them washed, and then she gets locked in.
Whack. This bitch only got the job because she like used to bang one of the producers.
In, but then you see like Michael Myers though. It's tight. You see him through the glass door out there when she's out the garage.
And the dog barks, and Mark.
Oh yeah, and she's like, "Can you get him to
Michael
shut up?"
crushes its esophagus.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking, she hears the dog bark, and then shows Michael like
he's like,
squeezing
I used to love doing this as a little boy.
Yeah,
in Rob Zombie's remake.
In Rob Zombie's remake, squeezing little pets, killing them. All right.
And then it shows the intro to The Thing, original 1953.
It's tight. It's on the TV, and it's like The Thing, and you're like, oh. And then freaking this one, Tommy Doyle is like, hey, can we make Jack Lantern? She's like, yeah, after the movie.
And read comic books? Oh, that's dope to do back then, before all the electronics. Read in the 50s, the kids, you know, reading the horror comics.
And this is when he starts talking about the
watching Universal horror movies.
And talking about Halloween and the Boogeyman.
And all the sci-fi films
like,
from the 50s and 60s.
When Lori, Jamie Lee Curtis is just like, Halloween's a time when people play tricks on each other. And
yeah, she's like still feeling her buzz from that long J, even though it was a factory-old cig. Like I was
saying. See Michael through the door. This is when you see Michael through the door because it cuts back to Annie and freaking at the garage, and freaking she's washing the clothes.
He's like, the boogeyman is gonna come after me. He's just like, Halloween night is time of mischief. No, John Carpenter's like, oh, this is my time to pay tribute to the holiday of Halloween. And he just like tells the story of Halloween, and there's a boogeyman. He only comes around on Halloween, but I'm not gonna let you get him. I'm not gonna let the boogeyman get you, Tommy, because I'm your babysitter. Yeah, you're like, wow.
She's responsible.
You're like, wow, what a scripted Hollywood
Annie,
script.
She's locked in the garage out there, and then the little girl, like the phone rings and it's Paul, her boyfriend.
Shout out to Darnell Weeks.
And then so the little girl goes out there to the
Halloween
outhouse.
661.
She goes out to the outhouse. She's like, Annie, and she unlocks the door for her.
92.
And then like she was like climbing out the window. Annie was, and then but freaking she comes back in the right way because
cool dude,
the
the fat kid who shows his DVD collections.
So then freaking she comes in, she talks to the phone to Paul, and she talks to her like a little skank.
No, she looks at Annie in the washroom. She calls for Lindsay Lohan, who's watching horror movies.
I already went through all that. They already came back in. Now she's on the phone with Paul talking like a skank.
That's what I thought. So
she's talking like a skank to Paul. Go on.
And then the window, and then Paul's like, my parents are gone, so she walks Lindsay Lohan as a 10-year-old.
Go pick up Paul. So
in the inside of Hollywood,
she walks the 10-year-old and Lori. She's like, you want to watch TV with Tommy Doyle?
In the documentary, they show this bitch. She's like a 39-year-old like Botox bitch nowadays.
Wow, she is.
But you'd still bang.
Okay.
She just looks like a
housewife. I don't condone that. Wow. Go.
And no, then then it's Jamie Lee Curtis like with she's got an apron on. She just looks like a house slave, like I was saying.
Yeah, she's over there doing the dishes.
She's like the old Girl Scout comes. She's like,
over there giving
Tommy Ben.
She's over there giving Tommy Doyle.
She's like, you gotta talk to Ben Tramer.
Some milk and cookies. You gotta talk to Ben Tramer.
Anyway, let's just go with this. Annie returns to the house.
Yeah, she
the
goes
Wallaces
back to get the freaking car.
To pick up Paul.
She gets in the car
because he's grounded.
But freaking Michael Myers is in the back seat, and this is when he whips out the rope that he stole from the sheriff.
No, before that, I gotta say, no, she's whistling to herself, and it's like filler forever, and she's like singing to herself.
Yeah, because she forgets the keys. She goes to the car.
John Carpenter used like,
go back to the house forever.
Who puts this in a movie? They make their character. They do this for like a few different characters.
It's good 10 minutes. So
they're like, hey, sing a song to yourself. People do that. Can relate to that. They do that in real life.
10 minutes you can add to the movie, you know.
That's whack.
She forgets her keys.
It's a freaking movie.
She has to go back in and get the keys, come back out. So you film that forever. You can show that, you know.
Anyway, so Michael Myers is inspired by the Boston Strangler.
So then Michael Myers squeezes her esophagus.
No, he strangles her with the rope that he stole from the hardware store.
Just like Cujo.
Of course, she had to repeat that. He strangles her. No, he strangles her freaking esophagus.
Exactly.
Shut the freak. All right, no other comment.
Alright.
No blood again. They tease you with blood, but there is no blood. We should have saw a stab move. Anyway, go back. She gets in the car. No, it cuts.
She's dead. The freaking this is the thing. It's
a sci-fi sound too.
No, she's freaking honking the horn too while she's getting killed like 3 or 4 times. Someone heard that and been like, "What the?"
It cuts to Tommy and Lindsay watching a movie. And Tommy cries when he sees someone in a mask on Halloween night. You're like, what the hell?
He looks out there and he sees...
You're like, what a girl.
No, he looks out the window and he sees Annie being carried. And
this is one of Darnell's favorite Halloween characters, is Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle's a little biatch.
And he's being carried by Michael Myers on the porch there, and Tommy Doyle sees it and he starts crying like, look, girl, as my associate was saying.
And then it cuts to some kids at a haunted house, at the Myers house.
Oh, and then, this is while Loomis is waiting at the house.
Loomis gets his kicks out of scaring him.
And the kids are like, come on, go up there and touch the door. Come on, go inside. Go and then one kid goes up there to Loomis' house. Or no, to the Michael Myers' house. And freaking, and then this is when Loomis is like, hey, get your ass out of there. And it's like hilarious.
And then the sheriff shows
and the kids run off.
And the sheriff shows up and they treat it as a jump scare. And he's just like, look, there's nothing happening. Just kids getting high, pranking,
tickets,
just normal shit, you know.
Kids doing pranks, it's just normal stuff.
He's like, it's gonna take more than fancy talk to keep me up. And then Loomis is just like goes over some more Hollywood lines. The Donald Pleasance
he just does some more
performance
Hollywood
is
lines,
hilarious.
Like hey,
he's been waiting for this night. He's been
staring at the wall, but not looking at the wall. He's been seeing this night.
So the devil in the script triggered Michael's mind to.
He's been planning this his whole life.
What? Kill some worthless bitches on Halloween night. No, he's jealous of all the promiscuous bitches with the Myers last name. He's embarrassed by it. He has to kill them all.
So Annie's dead. She didn't get to go pick up Pa.
And then Sheriff Brackett's like, more fancy talk. Then Linda shows up at the house. PJ Souls'
more fancy talk that sells me. All right.
And he's drinking beer, and they're talking about having sex.
Yeah, and they're like, they show up.
They go up the Wallaces. They go in the room.
House, yeah.
Then Myers creeps up on them. And Lori watches, then it cuts to Lori. She's watching a movie and gets a call from Linda, and she's like, she's totally not here. Where's Annie? Because they're looking for Annie because she already died, as we know.
But they don't know, so they just assume that, hey, she's with Paul at his house, so they just don't even care. Because it's 1970, it's not like everybody has a cell phone.
So then they go into the freaking, the master bedroom of the Wallaces to, swap DNA.
Yeah, and there's just a freaking pumpkin up there. Like, yeah, they're high school butts carved and put it up there.
Yeah, they lit a jack-o'-lantern. This is the only good one that was even carved the whole movie.
Nah, actually.
And it was totally lit.
In my notes, it says it sucks.
Yeah, they all kind of suck.
Wow, Jamie Lee Curtis sucks.
Saw sucks. Scream sucks.
Hut. Let's get
8 foot. Scream sucks. Hut.
Alright,
no, that's Darnell Weeks talking.
That's Darnell Weeks.
And then it's on the nightstand. And then Myers walks up by, and then...
No, she's like, give me a beer. And he's like, alright. And he goes downstairs
to get the beer. The boyfriend goes downstairs. No,
yeah,
they spark up a cigarette.
Wow, the door opens up.
They spark up a cigarette, and she's like, I'll be right... No, he's like, I'll be right back. Don't get dressed. He says the infamous death sentence lines, I'll be right back.
So you know you're not gonna be right back.
And then Myers kills 4 eyes in the kitchen.
Yeah, but the door opens up behind him.
Nate Dunning wanted to play this role in the remake, but he was only
this is the tight kill, though, because this is where he
filmed.
picks him up and he stabs him against the wall, and then he holds him in with the knife. And
they make a sound of crushed cans, like he crushes a beer against his head, like he's
I think it's another
he's a frat boy.
70s space effect.
Oh, and for all the morons that don't know, the mask, the Michael Myers mask, is based off of Captain Kirk.
character.
They went to the
spray painted white. Of course, who doesn't know that? Shut up.
The budget was so low that they had to go to a hardware store and alter a mask that they find. So they found the most plain one, which is William Shatner's dome, and they spray painted it white, and it came out just amazing. It just came out.
You don't know that. You're probably 13.
It came out exactly what the character was, that pale,
or younger,
absence of any humanity left. He's demonic.
He had no emotion. He simply had no thought of
So
evil,
Myers comes in the room
right
wearing
wrong,
the blanket.
Good or bad.
Anyway, this death scene, of course you couldn't even add on to the death scene. They don't even show any blood.
Tupac or Ja Rule.
They only then they show his like freaking like leg.
They don't show any
this
blood.
Is gay.
It's whack, and you're like, alright.
Like, hey, hang him up and shows freaking him with no socks on.
So this is when he shows shows upstairs.
Scary.
No, he shows back up to the girl who's in the bed, and then he's got the freaking sheet over his head.
And they went
he's got the glasses.
And PJ showed the tits.
No, and he's got the glasses over the freaking ghost with the eyes ripped out over the blanket.
Oh my God, we can't talk about this scene without talking about the documentary where John Carpenter was just like. Wow, you got nothing to say.
No, we talking about what John Carpenter talks about what in the documentary.
He doesn't remember talking to PJ Souls about the nude scene.
Oh yeah, he's like, no, in the documentary they show him and he's like, he says, yeah.
He's like, we shot it that day. It was wonderful.
No, the girl.
And PJ Souls was like, it was in this. His argument was that it was in the script. Oh my God, John Carpenter was so coked out. We gotta say in this.
He was like, what?
Interview.
He was like, what? It was in the script. Yeah, we filmed it. Yeah.
Should have heard some of the things he said. It was hilarious.
But then they show the interview with the girl, who did the scene. She's like, yeah, he asked me if I wanted to, just have him the camera there, no one else. And he was so nice about it. But then when it goes to him, he's like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
She was like, no, but he asked me to do it. I didn't know I was doing it. And he's like, that's bullshit. He was like, it was wonderful. And they edited it like hilarious.
He's like,
it's all bullshit.
He's like hitting the square and he's like, it's all bullshit. And you're like, okay.
And you're like, alright. And it cuts to like
John Carpenter, everyone.
And it cuts to Loomis and he spots the car and the theme starts playing. No, and he strangles Annie. We gotta say Annie's death scene. She calls Lori, and in the middle of it, she strangles her with the phone.
Yeah, because she's like
it's dial M for murder or something.
She's like, alright, he's not gonna give me the beer. She's like, where's the beer? And then she's like, alright,
we got more things to say on John Carpenter at the ending. Stay tuned for that and what he thinks about his remix. And then it cuts to Loomis, and he spots the car, and it's the theme playing. And then it does filler of Lori walking across the street because she's worried about her friends because she can't get a hold of them.
Yeah, she gets out and it's like doo doo.
And it's just beautiful shots of the house.
It's like a freaking October
shots
night.
Of the shitty jack.
It's October night and she's walking across. It's beautiful shots of the shitty jack.
And it's creepy, scary.
She's walking out there with like just a little skinny shirt on. It'd be like freaking 41 degrees or something.
And it's filler again. She's walking upstairs. Filler. Michael Myers. The Myers fan 25's review, he's just like, I don't know why I like this movie. It's so boring. If I'm going too fast, it's boring. That's Darnell's thoughts, not the thoughts of Mr. Creepshow and I.
This is where it shows Jamie Lee Curtis and she sees the house, the lights go on.
She wakes up. No, she's walking upstairs and she finds the Judith Myers infamous tombstone scene.
And
you're like, wow.
Body. And you're like,
what is this, an Indiana Jones movie?
Down.
No, and she wakes up in the room, she finds 3 bodies.
The body that falls from the closet.
And you're like, that pretty much sums it up.
And you're like, yeah, Ian's
hey, they're all dead, you're terrified. It was like an old monster movie.
And then also cuts back to Loomis. And this is when Loomis notices the car parked there. And he's like,
shut up. We already said that,
wow,
idiot.
No,
and the theme started playing. Yeah, I did. So shut your trap.
And he's just like, he's here.
And it's the infamous shot of Myers stabs her in the shirt. And it's just terrible editing. She falls down the stairs, like, on her back or something. And you're like, okay.
Michael Myers stabs
and she runs out.
And he just cuts her freaking shirt. It's totally cropped.
There's spots of terrible editing in this movie. And then Myers walks down slow and steady. Infamous Myers. It's part of his character. I love it. I love it. It just makes him more.
They told him, just walk.
Scary.
Just walk in their film.
With the knife. And he stumbles over to the house. She stumbles over to the house.
As soon as she's screaming forever.
She goes to someone else's house, and the people blow her off.
Oh yeah, they turn on their porch light, and then they turn it off. They're like, "Who is that?" They're like,
she's like, "No more trick or treating."
They're like, "No more trick or treating, guys." And they turn off the light.
She goes back to the Doyles. The phone lines are cut, of course.
She throws the freaking pottery, the freaking plant, up at the window, and it breaks. So like, get out of the.
She locks up the door.
To get Tommy Doyle.
Myers isn't in there, but he shows up out of nowhere. It's like a plot hole up the hole. He just appears. Because he's demonic. You know what I'm saying? He tries to stab her. You're not even on the same page as me. Just shut up, you fag.
I'm on the same page.
He tries to stab her, then Lori stabs him in the neck.
No, shoot out with a crochet. With the crochet thing.
No one knows what a crochet is.
Yeah, the crochet, it's sort of like sewing, you know? Like if you're knitting.
Oh, one of those pins.
Yeah, that's she picks up. And, yeah, so
I still don't believe you freaking faggot.
Wow, you're still not on the same page. So then he stabs her.
Then it's Loomis walking on the street, and Brackett pulls up, and he's like, "Go around the back."
And he's like, "He's here." And he's like, "Go around the front of the house." He's like, "I go around the back."
I got the front with my Magnum PI.
And the sheriff's like, okay.
Yeah, that'll be good if you want to scare it, but if you really want to blow its fucking head off,
wow.
I just suggest this gun. That's Rob Zombie dialogue at its finest.
Exactly.
And then Lori talks to the kid. She's like, "Okay, Tommy, I killed the boogeyman."
I killed the boogeyman, Tommy.
He's
like, "You can't kill the boogeyman."
He's like, "Even Tommy Doyle knows that." That's why Myers fan likes him so much. He's like, "You can't kill the boogeyman." Of course, she had nothing.
No, this is where she runs. She tells him to freaking run to the neighbor's house and call the cops, and she just stays there with Myers' dead body, Michael Myers' dead body right there in the closet.
Oh, I know.
And she's like traumatized, sitting there, and it's like retired. She would have ran with him, but anyways, he wakes up,
cliche.
and it's like,
and
you're like, oh, and you see him getting up behind her.
That shot is so infamous.
And then so she goes in the closet. He stabs. She freaking grabs a coat hanger, stabs him. He drops the knife. She picks it up and stabs him.
No, Myers has a hard time like opening the frail wood in the closet.
Yeah, it's forever of him propping with the wood.
And she stabs Michael Myers in the eye with a hanger.
It's where the kids run out, and Loomis sees the kids, and then he goes upstairs.
Hold up, no, she grabs his knife and she stabs him in the heart.
I already said that, you freaking idiot.
Yeah, but you summed it up like a moron. You forgot the part where she stabs him. I'm going through this step by step. She stabs him in the eye, then she stabs him in the heart. Charlie Walker style.
I remember.
Tells kids to run and get help. And
Loomis shows up. And he starts shooting him like it's a freaking 6 young pilgrims.
You're an idiot. Then it's the infamous he rises from the dead because he got stabbed in the heart. That's why it was crazy.
Yeah.
And in the documentary, Jamie Lee Curtis came back for HBO.
He couldn't die.
She wanted to close out the series because she went on and did other things, as we know, including a bunch of other horror movies, The Fog and Prom Night, including H2.
Couldn't die, you're right.
And in the script, and then Dimension tried to trick her. She was like, "All right, we'll tell you what. He'll appear dead. We'll tease the audience. He is dead. He'll get his chest chopped out, but it won't be him."
So Loomis shows up and he shoots freaking Michael Myers up the butt with like 10 shots, and then he falls off the deck. And they look down and freaking...
He shot him like 9 times.
And she's like, "Was that the boogeyman?" He was like, "Yes, it was."
No, it was, as in past tense, like he's dead, even though Loomis knows that he's like not human and that he won't stop for
then
nothing.
Loomis goes up to the deck and
but
looks
I guess
down there.
Loomis doesn't know how crazy his power of Michael Myers is yet.
And he looks down there and his body's not there, and then they start the music, do 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 do, and you're like, oh.
Even though he's been studying him since 1963.
And then there's the camera recap of every room of all the houses, and the Meyer house and everywhere. Like,
where were you on June 6, 2006?
Hey, Michael Myers is not there. He's not here. He's not in the kitchen. He's not in the living room. It's tight. There's the recap. And then freaking it shows the pumpkin, the house.
The ending
ends on the
so
Myers.
Infamous.
No, it ends on the Myers house, and you hear the breathing like he's at the house.
Hold up, I gotta say this. You see more blood in Jamie Lee's hand than you did in the whole movie.
Oh yeah, she's there all
says that with corn syrup blood, pig's blood, and Carrie.
Overall, it's pretty tight.
No, they show multiple shots of the house, like you were saying, and it's like her, and then you hear Michael Myers' breath breathing as the last shot. The last shot is the Myers house, and Michael Myers breathing in the mask.
So they
5 different people play the movie, and they in a deleted scene, they show a mongoloid dome of Michael Myers too.
Oh, yeah, his mongoloid
One of the
dome.
5 actors. They got the ugliest actor they could find. They're like,
yeah,
hey,
he looks like a freaking.
They made him uglier.
School pretty boy.
It's a mix between picture Jason Voorhees' ass,
one of those pretty boys
faces,
working out in the living
and
room.
Nate Dunning's face.
You know, like he wears.
And that's
freaking,
Michael Myers in the deleted scene.
He wears like a cutoff. You know what I'm talking about?
Alright,
Alright, you're a freaking idiot.
Overall, 9. I'm not gonna. It's not perfect. Everyone knows that.
I give it a 9.
But that's why
too,
it's
I
also good, and it's not that gory.
Shout out to Darno.
But a lot of people like to argue because it's the suspense that gets it, and it is real suspenseful, and the theme so iconic.
It's pretty good overall, man. You can tell it's a total movie at sometimes.
I get into those movies too. It isn't all about gore for me too. I mean, we like When a Stranger Calls the remake and Secret Window.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and a
come
bunch
on,
of
it's
other
a good thriller, you know.
movies.
I mean,
Other flags.
Other flags.
John Carpenter's so coked out now.
Other facts. John Carpenter's so coked out.
No, he was like,
Right,
no, Rob
done.
Zombie, no. When Rob Zombie told Carpenter on the phone, he called him, he's like, I'm remaking Halloween. Carpenter, replay the theme and shut up. Carpenter didn't even seem to care. He told him that we have fun with it. He was just so coked out. And he's just like, do I get a check? And he's just like, it's flattering, you know. He's just like, I also get a decent check from him. He doesn't care what happens to the characters that he created. That's why the Myers fan 25 hates him.
He didn't even write Halloween, John Carpenter. He got someone of his.
Oh, he got directed.
John Carpenter wanted to film westerns. That's what he says in the.
He didn't have an image for the. His friends came up with the image of Michael Myers, the iconic ghost face, or all-white image, and he didn't come up with the title Halloween either. He was going to name it Babysitter Murders, which was just going to be another B Hollywood, which was going to be another B movie horror. Yeah, that was just going to be lost in the shuffle after years. But anyway, so then Rob Zombie told me he was going to make a remake, and he was just like, yeah, have fun with it. I don't care if you fuck him up and make him.
Alright, leave a comment.
Make him a grunge.
Yeah, hold up.
Alright, this is JBM.
Leave a comment.
And L-Mid's gay.
It's L-Mid's gay mongoloid dome.
Alright, leave a comment. Your thoughts.
Check out
this is
our
in-depth
other
horror
reviews
review
and our comic book
on the
collections
classic.
and stuff. Peace out.
And we're gonna do a remake.
I freaking hate
in-depth
you.
review on the remake 07.
Shut up, Josh. You're such a fat.
Alright.
Alright, Josh's mongoloid